NFC Championship game, 49ers versus the Eagles. These are two of the most talented teams in the NFL. They're stacked at pretty much every single position. Philadelphia, fantastic offensive line, great group of running backs. We know about Miles Sanders. We also can't forget about what they have at receiver, A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, one of the best receiver duos in all of the NFL. Jalen Hurts was, in a lot of people's eyes, the front runner for the MVP before he had to miss time with that injury. But he's been playing at a fantastic level. This defense has been out of this world. They had 70 sacks this season as a team. That was 15 more than any other team during the regular season. They have not only elite talent on this defensive line, but elite depth on the defensive line as well. You got Javon Hargrave, but you also have Ndamukong Suh as his backup. Not to mention, you got depth at every other position on your defense as well. Linebacker, cornerback, safety. Philadelphia has it all. Now, San Francisco, they're just as talented as the Philadelphia Eagles. Their defense is just as good, even though I think that Philadelphia has more depth than San Francisco on the defense side of football. Both fantastic defenses, great defensive coordinators. We already know about D'Amico Ryans, but Nick Sirianni was going to bat for his defensive coordinator. He thinks that his DC is going to be in line for a head coaching opportunity sometime down the road. And we already know about their offensive coordinator. He's been in talks for a couple of head coaching opportunities. So you have two fantastic coaching staffs with two teams that have fantastic defenses and fantastic offenses. The 49ers offensively, they have a lot of versatility. You can line guys up at several different positions. We know how they use Deebo Samuel as a wide back. Then you got Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey didn't really do a lot of damage on the ground last week for the 49ers and their win over the Cowboys, but he was really big in the passing game. Kyle Shanahan was getting really creative with how he was getting CMC open in the passing game. He was matched up against Michael Parsons, and Michael Parsons, I'm sorry, brother. I love you a lot, but if it's you one-on-one in coverage against CMC, CMC's going to win that thing 9 times out of 10. He's probably the best route runner out of all of the running backs that we have in the NFL right now. For the Philadelphia Eagles, their linebackers are really fantastic. Now, I don't know if their linebackers are just as good as the 49ers linebackers, but they're not too far apart, talent-wise. I'm eager to see how they're going to fare against Christian McCaffrey. And even then, if you do line up Christian McCaffrey out wide, are you even going to line one of your linebackers up against them? Are you maybe going to try to put a safety on CMC? Because stopping CMC is something that if you're Philadelphia, I think you have to be able to do if you want to have a chance at making it to the Super Bowl. Christian McCaffrey has a very big part in this offense. He is somebody that Brock Purdy loves to throw the football to in third down situations. Plus, he also likes to hit George Kittle in those third down situations. So, third down, he loves throwing it to CMC and George Kittle. I think if you can take away Christian McCaffrey, you'll take away the short passes, and then you'll force him to have to try to find ways to find other check down outlets. But I think if you can slow down Christian McCaffrey, that would be huge for your chances of winning this game. They also have Deebo Samuel that you have to deal with. He's a handful. Brandon Ayuk. We already talked about George Kittle. You saw that crazy catch he had against the Dallas Cowboys? Bruh, I thought Trayvon Diggs was finna send this man straight to the gulag. I thought he was finna Man, this man gonna I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So for the Philadelphia Eagles, man, defensively, you have a really tough task ahead of you. Because it's a headache trying to figure out ways to slow down this offense. They do a lot of things. They have guys playing different positions. And when you have guys playing out of positions, guess what happens? You end up getting mismatches. So for Philadelphia, you got to find a way creatively to deal with when San Francisco has these guys playing out of position. I think if this ends up being a game where the 49ers have to throw the ball to win, I think Philadelphia is going to win. And I know it sounds like I'm doubting Brock Purdy once again, but it's not like I'm hating on the guy. I've been rooting for him. I've been talking about how he's the future at quarterback for San Francisco all season long, so don't call me a hater. It's just that he's been going up against some really good defenses. He went up against a good one last week in the Dallas Cowboys, and although he had a pretty good game, that Dallas Cowboys defense was doing a lot of good things. They were getting after him. There were a couple of throws that he missed, and he didn't really have the greatest performance, all right? It was a good performance, but compared to the performances that he has put up prior to last week kind of was, B plus in my opinion. I don't think it was his A game. And going against this Philadelphia Eagles defense, I was talking to somebody earlier who he had winning this game. He picked the 49ers because of Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuels and CMC. And here's my thing. Eventually, is there going to be a team that makes Brock Purdy look like a rookie quarterback? I think that team could finally be right in front of you. The Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants. They did a really good job of taking away all those short intermediate passes. They also did a really good job at not allowing Saquon Barkley to take over the game on the ground. And yeah, the New York Giants are inferior talent-wise when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, but I do think that there are a lot of things that the Philadelphia Eagles did well in that game that can translate well over into this game. San Francisco's offensive line is really good, but I promise you they have not seen a defensive line like Philadelphia. Philadelphia, this team is just so deep on the defensive line. It's going to be a really important matchup because Dallas was having success getting pressure on Brock Purdy. And San Francisco's offense, they didn't really have a lot of success until midway through the third quarter, fourth quarter. That's really where their offense started to take over the game. The Philadelphia Eagles defense, their worst performance was when they lost to Dallas, and that's when they had Gardner Minshew. Outside of that, their defense has been phenomenal all season long. But for San Francisco, though, right? You have the second best run defense in the NFL. In Philadelphia, what is their identity? Running the football. Now, of course, they can beat you throwing it all over the place to Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, what do they call him? Batman, then DeVonta Smith. But at the end of the day, though, if Philadelphia gets into a game where they have to throw the football to win against that San Francisco 49ers defense that's fantastic at forcing takeaways, do you feel comfortable, if you are an Eagles fan, asking Jalen Hurts to have to throw the ball to win the game? We've seen quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts falter in the playoffs where they've been asked to win games strictly by throwing it. We've seen similar instances happen with Lamar. We've seen similar instances happen with plenty of quarterbacks who've had the kind of playing style of Jalen Hurts. Now, I'm not saying that as a knock on Jalen Hurts. Okay, I love me some Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has had a fantastic season, but I do think when you're going against this 49ers defense that's really good at forcing takeaways, you have linebackers who are good in coverage, you have a fantastic secondary. If Philadelphia has to get away from what they do best, running the football, you have to wonder, can you trust Jalen Hurts to make the right decisions for a whole entire game? And you can probably say the same thing for the 49ers, with Brock Purdy. Can you trust him to make decisions, the right decisions for the whole entire game against the Philadelphia Eagles defense? But the thing is, Kyle Shanahan is so good of a play caller that I think that Brock Purdy could be in a situation where he'll probably be fine if you have to throw the ball to win with him. For Philadelphia, though, I kind of think, even though they're balanced on paper, I like the matchup of the Miko Ryans versus a Jalen Hurts. And, Philadelphia has a fantastic play caller as well. But at the same time, though, the Miko Ryans, what he's been doing this year, it's been really impressive. Really impressive. So if Philadelphia can't get the run game going and they have to throw the ball to win, I just wonder how effective is that passing attack going to be against this 49ers defense. The team I'm going to take to win this game, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles are finally going to be the team that makes Brock Purdy play like a rookie quarterback. And I know I said this same thing last week for the Dallas Cowboys, but the Dallas Cowboys defense, to their credit, did do a pretty good job against Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy didn't have all that great of a game against Dallas. So against a better defense in Philadelphia that's more talented than Dallas across the board, Dallas had issues when it came to their second cornerback position. Philadelphia doesn't. They're loaded on every position on defense. They're loaded on offense. I do expect this game to be low scoring. I think this is going to be one of those old-fashioned defensive slugfest. Give me Philadelphia. 17-13 is my final score prediction in this game.